In 2015, Marvel destroyed the Ultimate Universe and brought an end to the Ultimate Universe line of comics. Despite its initial popularity and the success of the Ultimate Spider-Man series, the Ultimate Universe had increasingly gained an infamous reputation, and the edgy storylines designed with shock value moments only made it worse, and sales had taken a steep decline. With the Secret Wars storyline, Marvel decided to put it out of its misery and finally destroyed it while delivering a final tribute to the world in the form of the Ultimate End miniseries written by Brian Michael Bendis and illustrated by Mark Bagley, the original creative team of Ultimate Spider-Man, the universe's biggest success. But despite its destruction, there were a few characters who managed to survive because they managed to end up being the fan favorites in a universe where people vocally disliked most of its characters. I wanted to talk about three of them in this video and get into who they are, why they survived, what they have been up to, and what their future might look like. Number 1. Miles Morales aka Spider-Man. The most obvious and the only initial survivor of the Ultimate Universe was Miles Morales aka Spider-Man. I feel like Miles' survival was a no-brainer. Miles' creation in the Ultimate Universe after the death of the original Ultimate Peter Parker sent shockwaves across the comic world, and his stories continued to be one of the brightest spots in a declining universe. His popularity was also slowly increasing, and Marvel realized that he needed to be kept around even if the Ultimate Universe was destroyed. In a controversial decision that's still being debated, Marvel brought Miles Morales over to the main 616 universe and weirdly added his supporting cast and his history to the 616 universe's lore, even though it really doesn't make any sense. I don't think anybody is ever going to properly explain the semantics of how Miles' past works as part of the 616 universe, especially since all of his supporting cast and his parents are supposed to be part of it too. But Marvel has established that he knows that he came from a different universe, so I guess that's that, and nobody's going to make it more complicated. Miles has slowly become a consistent and prominent character in the 616 universe, and with his growing popularity in the real world and as part of the main comic universe, he is definitely here to stay and is sure to play a major role in many stories in the years to come. Number 2. The Maker aka Reed Richards. The Maker was easily one of the best things about the original Ultimate Universe, especially after Ultimatum. For some reason, despite the many weird plotlines, the transformation of the Ultimate Universe's Reed Richards into the villainous Maker proved to be one of the best and organic storylines the Ultimate Universe ever delivered. The Maker quickly became a terrifying and compelling villain, especially with the added aspect of being a former hero who drastically changed course. He played a vital role in the Secret Wars storyline, and while the exact mechanism wasn't explained, he survived and made his way to the main Marvel universe. He quickly started to find his way in the world by going up against the New Avengers, the Ultimates of the 616 universe, Venom, and many more. And for some reason, he never really went up against Doctor Doom or even the actual Fantastic Four, which is kind of weird, and I hope they rectify that in the future. But right now, the Maker recently undertook his biggest and most ambitious project, recreating a new Ultimate Universe firmly under his control and without the heroes who would oppose him. And it should be pretty interesting to see if he makes his way back to the 616 universe or if he eventually ends up being the major villain for the new Ultimate Universe to play with. Number 3. Jimmy Hudson aka Wolverine. The son of the Ultimate Universe's Logan mysteriously made his way to the 616 Marvel Universe. Jeez, Marvel should really try to explain the reasons for these characters someday, but I don't think they will. Just, I feel like it just makes it way more complicated than it needs to be. So, anyways, Jimmy Hudson survived and quickly came into conflict with the younger time-displaced X-Men who were running around the 616 universe a few years ago. It's curious as to why exactly Marvel chose to bring back Jimmy. I mean, he was decently liked, but I don't think he was ever a huge fan favorite character that people really wanted to survive. But I guess somebody at Marvel thought he had potential. But, well, if they did, they're certainly not showing off that potential. He joined the time displaced X-Men for a brief time before bonding to a poison symbiote. That happened in 2018, and Jimmy hasn't been seen since then. When the maker recreated the Ultimate Universe, and he invited Miles Morales to join him, but for some reason he did not extend any kind of invite to Jimmy Hudson, which makes me believe Marvel has just forgotten that the character exists. And that brings us to the end of the list. Those are the three major survivors of the Ultimate Universe. It's worth noting that Marvel hinted that the original Ultimate Universe exists all by itself once again in the Spider Man 2 miniseries a few years back. But I think that was just meant to be a fun nod that serves as a satisfying moment for the fans of the original Ultimate Universe rather than a major story development that's ever going to lead anywhere. I'm happy that these characters survived. I really like Miles and the Maker, even though I do not really care for Jimmy Hudson all that much. I would have really loved if the Ultimate Universe Jessica Drew survived because she was such an excellent and intriguing character, and I would have loved to have seen more of her. But I'm excited to see what the future has in store for Miles Morales and the Maker as part of the main Marvel Universe, or even as part of the new Ultimate Universe that's going on right now. And for Jimmy, if they ever remember that he exists. Thank you for listening.